Hey, welcome to this Boat Buyer's Secret Weapon video, how to find the best boat loan. We're going to talk about credit that's necessary. We're going to talk about ways to find the lowest rate, the best terms. We're going to talk about credit unions, marine lenders, financing through the dealer, going with your local bank. We're going to talk about different scenarios, things you may not know about the boat financing world. We're going to open up all of that information for you so you can get the best boat loan for yourself because every situation is different. That's one of the keys. First thing to know is the down payments. Very few programs are going to offer a 0% down. So you're typically going to have to put some money down. There are a few programs that are out there from time to time. Yamaha financing on Yamaha jet boats has offered a zero down program. Basically, the manufacturer is subsidizing those programs. Formula has used that offer as well, a few others. Sometimes you can get a 0% down on a used boat with a credit union. We'll talk more about those shortly. Typically, you're going to need to put 10% down. If you're using a marine lender, if you're going through a dealer in most situations, if you're going to your bank in most situations, a lot of times with a credit union, at least 10% down on new and newer boats, 20% down or more on older boats. Say you want to finance 10,000 or 5,000, they may ask for more than 20% down if you have slower credit. And sometimes if you're buying, if you're financing a lot of, financing 500,000 or $1 million, they may ask for a 20% down payment. What are some things that can impact rates? Some people want the lowest interest rate. Other people want the lowest down payment. Some people want the lowest payment possible. Each of them are different, but what may impact the rate is a new boat versus a used boat. And a new boat is any boat that's never been titled, that's typically within 2 years old or newer. So if a boat's never been titled, you're getting a great deal on a 3-year-old piece of inventory at a dealer. They may charge you a used boat rate for that. If it's greater than 10 years, they're typically going to charge a higher interest rate because they're more likely to have issues with a boat like that. It's more risky. The other thing that impacts rates is you typically go down in interest rate the more money you're financing. So under 25,000 is going to be a higher rate than under 50,000. Under 100,000 is another break. And then there may be another break at 500,000 or more. Those are some specialty lenders that do those larger vessels. Banks, credit unions, and marine lenders. Typically, your local bank, a big national bank, Bank of America, Wells Fargo type of bank, are going to have higher rates, higher terms, I'll say worse terms, shorter terms, higher interest rates, and bigger down payments. Credit unions, I think, are fantastic for used boat buyers, and you can get a relationship with the credit union pretty easily in your area. They'll ask you a series of questions until you answer a question right that allows you to become a member. Like I said previously, on a used boat, a lot of times they'll do zero money down if you got excellent credit and you have a checking account there. A marine lender. Marine lenders, you can go direct. We have some links on our website at boatbuyerssecretweapon.com where you can go directly to a marine lender, and they're typically going to have the longest terms, the lowest interest rates, and typically a 10% down payment in most situations. You can also go directly to a dealer. Sometimes a dealer is going to get a better rate for you, even if you go to this, even if the payment's made to the same bank, because the dealer sends that bank more business, and sometimes they'll give a discount. So here's my recommendation. Check with all of them when you're looking at your boat to get the best boat loan for you and choose the one that makes the most sense. The local bank, a credit union, a marine lender, and the dealer, and then choose one of those four that makes the most sense for you. Don't worry about your credit. The way your credit report works, if you're shopping for a boat loan, you have a 7-day window where you can have your credit pulled. That's what it was last time I researched this. I know it's still in place, but I believe it's 7 days that you can do 10 inquiries in that 7-day period. But they know as long as it's for a boat loan, they know that, hey, this person's shopping for a boat, not looking to take out 10 loans, and your credit is only dinged that one time for a pull. So don't be worried about that. It will get you the ability to choose the best program for you. Now let's talk about credit. Perfect credit, 780 plus is where on a boat loan, because it's a luxury item, a recreational vehicle, they're going to have that high standard for the lowest rates and the lowest down payments at 780. 620 to 680, you can get a great rate and a low down payment, sometimes still that 10% range. If you're going through a credit union, that's probably well within their comfort level. Fair credit, 580 to 620, you're typically going to have a higher rate and a higher down payment. They may have a 18% rate and a down payment of 20%. Now, if you know that your situation is temporary, you can always refinance that in the future. And you say, hey, I'm willing to pay that little bit extra to get the boat now, knowing that I'm going to refinance in a year. Make a smart decision for you. You know your situation better than anybody on Facebook, anybody that you might talk to in a chat room. Make your decision, but just know if that's your credit range, you're going to have a higher rate, a higher down payment, and then you can refinance down the line if you know it's a temporary situation. Poor credit, under 580, a high rate, a very large down payment if able to finance at all. It's going to be very, very difficult. And again, know your situation if that makes sense for you or not. I'm not going to make a judgment because I don't know your situation. Lenders, we talked about local banks, local credit unions, marine lenders, and dealership financing. Now, I'm going to say this here that if you're buying from a dealer, check with the dealership financing department. Now, you may say, but they're going to make money off me. Here's what I will tell you. The local bank, the credit union, the marine lender, and the dealership finance department, they're all going to make money off your boat loan. That's why they make boat loans, is to make money. Nobody is going to charge more than another in every situation. What you need to do is get a approval from the local bank, from the credit union, the marine lender, and the dealer finance department if you're buying from a dealer, and then make the decision of which one works best for you based on down payment amount required, the interest rate that you're going to pay, the term of the loan, and the overall payment. Make sure that all of those fit for you, and that's how you choose the best one for you. Don't worry about what anybody else says, because the boat they bought, if it's a pontoon and you're buying a wake boat, your rate may be different. The time of year. 6 months ago, that bank may have had a big appetite for boat loans, and now they don't because their portfolio has changed, their goals have changed, the market has changed. So make the decision based on what you actually get for a pre-approval today, and make the decision on what makes most sense for you. Some questions to ask before you lock in so you don't have something sneak through. Make sure it's a simple interest loan, which means that you only pay interest on the balance outstanding. If you're somebody that has bonuses, you have a small business, you have a commission type income, and you're going to make large lump sum payments and pay that thing off early, which is a great idea. Well, if it's simple interest, you're going to save that amount. A fixed rate. Unless you're somebody that's really willing to take a lot of risk, make sure that rate is fixed for the term of the loan. On some loans, they'll go as much as 180 months or 15 years, up to 240 months or 20 years if you're over 50 or $100,000 of loan amount. And then also make sure that there's no prepayment penalty if you're going to pay that loan off early. Typically, there might be a 1, 2, 3, or 4-year prepayment penalty. Just make sure that doesn't exist in case you need to sell the boat for some reason, in case you are going to pay it off early with a large lump sum, or you're going to trade in the boat and get something new. Just double check that that's not there so you don't get caught. Now let's look at some examples, because this is something that surprises a lot of people, and I by no means am pushing anybody to get a bigger boat, a more expensive boat than what they're comfortable with. Know your financial situation, work out your budget. I just want to show you the way the math works on a $15,000 boat with financing versus a $30,000 boat. So twice as expensive, but the monthly payment only goes up by about $75. Now, I'm using market rates as I record this video right now, so rates are going to change, but what I'm showing you is by extending the term out a little bit, by getting a lower interest rate, by getting above that $25,000 loan amount mark, sometimes you can get a much nicer boat for just a little bit more money. Now, again, know your financial situation, know if it makes sense to do this or not, but understand that you can often get a nicer boat, which is going to have less issues, especially if you're going used, that is likely going to have fewer maintenance problems or repair problems, repair costs, and you can do it for a lower monthly amount. Now, again, don't worry about what anybody says on Facebook that it's dumb to finance a boat. It may be dumb for them. It may not be dumb for the next person. What's right for you is different for what's right for them. Make your decision based on the facts and what you feel is right for your budget. Now, the same thing applies when you get to larger amounts. I said there's a break at $25,000, at $50,000, and $100,000 loan amount. There's different terms and different rates. So the same thing applies. If you're looking at a $60,000 boat with 10% down, your financing was at $54,000 at about 6%, you're looking at $450 a month. If you jump up to a $150,000 boat, now the down payment still stays at 10%, which is a bigger chunk, but your monthly amount only goes to $950. So that only goes up by $500. So you're getting almost 2.5 times more expensive boat for a payment that's only twice as much. So again, make the decision that's right for you. Look at your situation. Even ask if you're not sure and you're thinking, man, I think I can only afford this much, go ahead and talk to your lender and say, what would it look like if I jumped up to that next tier, and make the decision for what's right for you. That's how you get the best boat loan for your situation. Now, I want to offer you a free resource that we have here, the Boat Buyer's Secret Weapon Toolkit. It is packed with a bunch of information. How to pick the right boat, how to shop for the right boat and compare different boats, how to do a sea trial the proper way so that you don't get something that's going to cause problems or not be the right boat for you in the long run, which can be a very expensive mistake. Get that toolkit. It's free. We get comments all the time about how helpful it is. Just go to boatbuyersecretweapon.com/toolkit and you can get yours for free. We'll email it to you. It's in a PDF file. I think now it's about 8 pages long, so it's packed with information, checklists, so that you make the right decision. And you can get that right now. Thanks for watching. If you're watching this on YouTube, we would love it if you gave it a thumbs up, if you made a comment, if you asked a question. That will help us get this information out to other people. If you're on Facebook or social media, we would appreciate if you shared it into some of the boating groups that you belong to, because we think this is very helpful information. We see the questions asked about where do I get the best boat loan all the time. And that's why I made this video, because so many people give bad information because it was right for them. They think it's right for everybody else, or they got their loan 3 years ago and things have changed, or you get the comments of, you're dumb if you finance a boat. That is not the case. Everybody's situation is different. Know the facts so you can make a smart decision. Thank you very much, and we will talk to you next time.